Well, hey there, everybody. What's up? It's a Monday, October something, 3rd or 4th or whatever it is. I was supposed to be at work today, but I got up and got ready to go, and my boss texted me like as I was driving down the street. I just left home. My phone beeps, and I like checked it. He says, "Oh, nobody's coming in today." I was like, "Oh shoot!" I figured everybody was sick because I was sick last week. He's like, "No, I'm going sailing." Okay, fine. You go sailing on a nice day and tell me at the last minute we're missing work. But honestly, it was okay because I used this opportunity to do some cleaning up and organizing in my life. And throughout the day, I was listening to a whole variety of different stuff. You know, often I'll listen to music when I'm organizing and cleaning, and I probably should have been, but instead I was listening to, the news or information or documentaries, and in the background, I was listening to everything from the discussion I was just listening to about Haiti and the unrest there and whether they're going to send military in, down to the coups and how these things are created and how the U.S. causes most of these problems, or at least governments cause most of the unrest within their own countries or within other countries, and the people just want to be left the f alone. And that part really bothers me. The fact that we're all born on this planet and we grow conscious and aware, and then we realize that we're being totally fucked over by our governments and by our own people just out of pure ignorance. It's not even always malice. It's often quite just hubris and arrogance that people think they know better than we do. But I don't want to get on a tangent here because this is about the opposite. It's about not letting those things get to you. It's about being aware of things but not getting outraged by them because the world's a crazy place. I think one of the things I watched this morning that came on was about, actually, my son put it on. It was called Fantastic Fungi. It's on Netflix. It's been on there for a while, but I'd already watched it and I watched it again. It's fascinating. I love the connection of nature and mycelium, and it just gives me this feeling of just connection with nature to understand how the inner workings operate. And there was a large section on psychedelics and that connection to. Uh-oh, my phone's ringing. I'm gonna have to decline it. So yeah, there was this huge, I don't know, rather large section on psychedelics and psychedelic experiences and personal trips and journeys, and it just brought me back to so many of the experiences that I've had, where I've said what matters is community, connection, family, most of all, and friends, and understanding that you're just a small part of this universe, and that's okay. But you're also a huge part of the universe. It's hard to explain, but it's an all-in-one kind of feeling that many people receive from mushrooms. And but I've thought about that everything from the peaceful mushroom discussion to the next documentary I watched about the Pacific Cascadia Fault, which I live in the Pacific Northwest, so a lot of people know it's pretty peaceful out here. It's quiet. There's not a lot of earthquakes in Oregon and Washington. The reason is because we have a subduction zone out off the coast, 50 miles or something, where it slips. It's a fault. They've taken core samples in the soil on the coast and found that this happens on average once every 250 years, consistently for the last like 10,000 years. So every 250 years, there's a huge slip of that, plate underneath the North Atlantic plate. It's called the Juan de Fuca plate, and it goes under the North American plate. And when it slips, not only does the coast of the West Coast drop up to 6 feet, 6 whole feet, like the entire coastline, but that rush of water that's pushed up, that energy becomes a tidal wave. And the last known time this happened was in 1700. So it's been 320 years. We're basically overdue, like 50 years overdue. So it could happen anytime. They say it's a 10% chance in the next 50 years But I mean, we really don't know. But the point being that when I was watching that, I was thinking about catastrophe, preparing, how prepared I am for an event like that, because 70% of the buildings in Portland could be destroyed. This whole area was built. We didn't even have earthquake code until '94. So basically, as they say, everything west of Interstate 5 would be toast. The bridges would go out, everything would be a nightmare. I live east of Interstate 5, only about 3 or 4 miles, but far enough to where if something happened like that, I'd be able to get out and I'm in a safe zone. So it's not that I worry about my own safety or my family's, but rather the after effects. And I think that that's the point that I want to make here, is that most people who fear something happening, they don't really fear the event or the situation itself, but the after effects, how it's going to harm them, or the long-term dangers that we all face. But if we view the world as a scary place, we will be the only ones who suffer. We won't get anything done. We won't get anything accomplished. Whether if you have even slight anxiety or fear, then you get into the fight, flight, or freeze mindset, where you're willing to, either get angry about something or completely freak out because you don't know what to do. It's amazing how many people panic when there's a major catastrophe. I mean, it happens all around the world every time there's either it's a fire, a tsunami, an earthquake, a hurricane. I mean, what happened on the East Coast is absolutely insane over there on Fort Myers. So then there's like part of me that says, damn, I can imagine the fear of living on the coastline, knowing that there's a hurricane coming and that you're at home and watching that water rise. Then there's part of me that says, if you live on Fort Myers, you're living on a barrier island. A barrier island is defined as such because it's a literal barrier of storms for the mainland. These barrier islands have been moving for thousands of years. They never remain consistent. They get wiped out in large storms all the time. So the fact that we human beings build these huge infrastructures and pipelines and connect all these, services and build stores and hotels on an actual sandbar is kind of like, it's a profound level of not ignorance, but hubris and arrogance to think that not just that we should build in these places, but that we should rebuild. You know what I mean? When New Orleans flooded, like when people talk about federal funding, 75%, I believe, of the funds that go to help rebuild when Florida goes through major storms are, come from federal funds, which people like you and I pay. So a small amount of my paycheck that I work every week actually goes to fund people who live on the beach. Now, I'm not being heartless here or, saying I don't want to help other people. That's a misconception that people have, but rather that the fears that we create for ourselves and the situations that we endure, we do have, not just as individuals, but as a species, better options to live in better places for all people. I don't know. It's hard to discuss because I don't think there's really a solution. I don't think there's any way to convince people that there's an A or B way to do things. You're going to do things the way you're going to do them and the way you learn them, and that's just the way life is. But we all take risks in life. And therefore, sometimes those risks can turn into dangerous situations, whether it's where we live, our activities, maybe we do base jumping or wear a wingsuit. It could be anything. But whatever you do in your life that's dangerous, even working with power tools, that kind of stuff, it's a risk and reward thing that we have in life. That should keep us distracted enough to not be worried and fearful and stressed out about other things that we can't control. And so I guess if there's any message from this kind of ramble of a video, it would be that I don't know how to feel about humans right now. I haven't made a lot of videos lately. I used to make a couple a day, and I was really sure of myself in a lot of them back in the day. Now, I've done a lot of thinking lately about what it means to be human, how different we all really are, and really try to put myself in others' shoes. I mean, I've always done this, but it's been kind of profound lately for me. I don't see myself as having anything to really say to the internet. It's just so overwhelmed with other voices that why do I have to say anything at all, you know? And but then there's part of me that says maybe I want to, damn it. And so I make a video. And you know, it's hard to explain. I'm rambling at this point, so I'm going to leave this video and I'm going to continue on the next one. Thanks for listening, and I hope you're all having a good day, and I hope you're not stressing and worried about the big problems in life and the what ifs, because the what ifs don't often turn into the is. The what ifs usually fade away. It's the unknowns that we face that we've got to watch out for, and even then, you can't watch out for what you can't see. So just live your life and be as happy as you can be. Fuck, I don't know. Peace.